Hello folks. There's no GAC this week, so I thought I would do an in-depth roster review. There's not going to be any gameplay or anything, it's just the roster review, so if you're not interested, I won't be depressed if you check out. So, without any further ado, because this will probably take a while, let's get into it. As you can see, our galactic power is up over 8 million now. When we brought the armor to 6 stars, that's when we crossed the 8 million mark. So here we are. I remember when only the super crackenest of super krakens had GP this high, and now I'm probably 4 or so million under top. It's kind of crazy how it just keeps going. Of course, I also remember when Kylo and Rey came out and everyone was talking about how insane the requirements are, and now I'm going for Kylo because the requirements are so low. Anyway, here's the favorites. These are the ones I'm working on. I just recently got Stormtrooper up to Relic, so I just need to get him to Relic 5 and he's done. Phasma is the next one that I'm working on. Armor, Fennec, and Second Sister are all slow farms, but we seem to be making pretty good progress here. For ships, Outrider just became farmable today, so I've added him. Chances are I will... Actually, I think I'm going to mark it right now. Radis can just sort of sit, so for right now I'm going to stop. I know you're supposed to finish a farm, but I don't care, so I'm going to stop on the Star Fortress, and I'm just going to focus on these two, because getting both of these up to full is the primary concern. And then I'll go back and work on the Star Fortress. Journey guide. Here is my progress on Emo Kyle. As you can see, I just have 3 more to Relic. Han to 3, Pilot to 3, Phasma to 5, and Stormtrooper to 5. Stormtrooper will be there in a couple days, especially with all of these assault battles that we're getting. That's really helping things. And everyone else is there. 777, 55553. And ships, that just needs to be 5-star. So we've been done with Finalizer. So going back to the roster. Galactic Legends, these are the 3 I have. As you can see, Vader's 8, Luke and C are 7. They'll probably stay at 7. I have no intention of bringing them to 8. Kyle, I'll bring to 7, and that's it. Once I get Kyle, I'm going to pause the Galactic Legend grind, even though I should be working on Kenobi. I think I'm the only person in my guild that doesn't have Kenobi. But I just need a break from the Galactic Legend grind to work on side projects. Moving on, take a look at 50 first. Not much has changed here. Some of these relics were for Lord Vader, but they're going to be staying there. Snips I might raise up to Relic 5 at some point, but for right now I think she's fine at 2. Bad Batch, all the same. At some point I should raise Omega to 5, but she is not anyone that I'm focused on, so she can stay there at 12 for a good while. I don't have any plans to raise her up. For fighting General Grievous teams, she's fine at gear 12. Sometimes I lose her, but usually I don't, so it's not a big deal. Bounty Hunters, we got a lot of them. Cad Bane, I wouldn't mind running up to 5 for the Executor fleet, but I'm in no rush for that, because I think until I get Executor to 7 stars, I don't think it'll matter, and 7 stars is not happening anytime soon. I wouldn't mind relicking Grief just to make him a little more sturdy, but for the most part I'm doing okay with him at 12. Likewise, Django, I wouldn't mind relicking him, and we'll eventually have to for Kenobi, but right now he's fine. Same with Aura Singh and Mandalorian. The only reason I would relic them is to make them a little bit more sturdy and durable. Fennec I am going to relic. I will be running her up. Tempting, but no, because I need too many Kairos. I need them for the legend grind, because Phasma, Han, and TIE Pilot all need shock prods, so that's 300 shock prods I need for those 3 characters, plus whatever ones I'll need for Kyle. So, unfortunately, Fennec is not going to gear up anytime soon. Once she hits 7 stars, I might give her that Kyro, just so I can run her up to 12. This piece is already built, waiting for her. Boba Fett, I have no plans for Boba Fett. If I get enough from challenges and Galactic, whatever, I might, but I am in no rush for him. Not a good character. Clones. By and large, they're just gonna sit there. Cody, I'd have to run up for Kenobi, but I'm in no rush. Clone Sergeant, I wouldn't mind relicking for his ship, but other than that, clones are fine. Oh, there's a big one. So here we got our droids. BB-8, maybe to make him a little more sturdy, but no rush on him. HK I wouldn't mind raising to make him do more damage, but no rush on him. T3, no. B2, Droidica, both of these I wouldn't mind running up just to make the teams a little bit better, but there's no rush. Dark Trooper. Dark Trooper is probably going to be one that I work on once I finish Kyle. I think he's one of the ones I'm going to focus on once I finish SLKR, because that's a good character. L3 I'd like to make tougher, but she's fine for now. Imperial Probe Droid, I'm kind of tempted to run up further, because... Oh, that's a territory battle. Never mind. I might jack up the Imperial Probe Droid. It's a relatively cheap gear. I might run Probe Droid up to 12, just to make it a little bit more useful in other aspects of the game. Sort isn't going anywhere until farmable, so she is not on the list. 86 sucks, Chopper sucks. K2 I should run up because he's got a ship, but just don't care. IG-11, nobody cares about. Oh no, wait. I'm sorry. IG-11, it's 86 nobody cares about. IG-11 I probably should raise up because he's a good tank, even though he's a healer. But I have higher priorities, so he's just going to wait. Empire. Second Sister we're working on. Depending on how the Grand Inquisitor shapes up, she might become more important. I don't know. But if he's as good as Starkiller, I may very well run her and the rest of the Inquisitors up. It's not a terrible team, it's just not a very good team. Second Sister, the only reason I'm focusing on her is because she has a ship. All of these guys, nothing new. Royal Guard, Relic 7. For those of you that have a Relic 3 Royal Guard for whatever Galactic Legend you were farming, I think C needed it. For those of you that have Lord Vader and a Relic 3 Royal Guard, you should focus on your Royal Guard. Relic 7 Royal Guard is a monster. Just for the Relic levels, 19,000 health, almost 10,000 protection, and the rest of it doesn't matter. So, when you look at this, gains max health equal to 5% of the Allied leader's max health. So, your Lord Vader That's going to be giving him probably 20,000 health, at least. And then doubling his health. So even ignoring the health from the leader, and ignoring and assuming that Lord Vader isn't siphoning, that it's happening before his protection pools in, just raw health, that puts him at 216,000. Relic 7 Royal Guard is a wall. He is a monster. And 68.9% armor. And I don't even have a lot of armor on him. He is just a monster. And on top of it, every time someone else takes damage, they're all recovering 6% health. So he's recovering, 10,000, 12,000 health each time someone else gets hit. So, yeah. I know it's painful. He's been a joke for years. I know it's hard to raise him up to Relic 7, but he is absolutely worth it. I would raise him up to Relic 9 if I had the spare to do it. He's just a monster. And even more so under Lord Vader. Because, good Lord. Lord Vader's health, there's 100,000. So yeah, that's 20,000 health. And that's not counting the 200 that's siphoning into there. Oops. And the 10% max health and protection per relic amplifier. So he's got an extra 80% health and protection. Lord Vader is the tankiest of tanks. And Royal Guard's really good. You want those relic levels. Nothing here. The Krennic Omicron, I believe, is tempting. Let's take a look at what it is. Grand Arena, yeah. His Omicron is tempting, but I have far more important places to put it. As you can see, I did put an Omicron on Mara Jade. I've got 2 or 3 I'd like to apply, so Krennic's waiting. Stark and Veers, I might run up just to make them tougher, but for the most part, they're fine. Gideon, I'd like to, because I'd like that extra 20 speed and making him tougher, but he can wait. Death Trooper, again, can wait. I wouldn't mind running Shore Trooper up higher to make him a better tank to potentially use with Vader, but again, say it with me now, he can wait. Magma, Gars, nothing special. Stormtrooper, I'd love to run him up, but once again, he can wait. Same with all of these guys. I'd love to run them up higher, but they can all wait. Iden at some point is going to be run up. The reason I've got those extra 10 shards is I did the 1,000 crystals or whatever just on a lark. Oh, look at that. She's farmable. On the Vulture droid node. Oh, Iden's farmable, huh? Alright. Iden is someone that we're going to work on once we're done with Kyle. I'd like to run her up, but she works at that gear level, so there's no need to focus on her right now. Ewoks, yep, same as they've been since C-3PO came out. They're not going to change. I'd like to run them up higher for the occasional Galactic Challenge, but it's not worth it. So, nothing's happening there. I'm not giving Sherpa the Omicron. It's not worth it, folks. Because unless you have a super potent low gray, Nest will still smush them. They're a paper cut team, so increasing their damage isn't that big of a deal. First Order, obviously we're working on them because we're working on Kyle. I'm enjoying having them relicked. This is a faction that I had wanted to work on for a while. I'm glad I finally have the excuse. I don't know that I'd be working on Stormtrooper, Phasma, and the pilot so much, Although the pilots are nice for the fleet, but mainly I have gotten okay mileage out of crew. Occasionally running him with Lord Vader, because he's an UFU. I've gotten a lot of mileage out of OG Kyle, because he's great at soloing lesser teams. And I've gotten a surprising amount of mileage out of Red here. Sith Trooper is a really good unit. I've had a lot of luck putting him with C when I've needed a full team with C, like in Territory War and Territory Battle. GAC C's usually solo, as you've seen in my videos. But also, I've gotten a lot of mileage out of putting him with Traya. In 5v5, you can run Traya Scion Nihilus, Talon, and him. That works really well. That's a good team. Galactic Republic. I gotta sneeze. Alright, so Padme being Relic 8, that was just for Lord Vader. I still don't like having spent that. I don't think it was worth it. A lot of these are just going to kind of sit here at this level unchanged. Cat, I'd love to run her up higher, make her a little more durable, but Relic 3, that's going to have to be good enough for a while. Kenobi will eventually go up for Jedi Master Kenobi, but for right now, Relic 5 is just good enough. It makes his fleet worse, and that does kind of matter, but I don't have the resources for him. Likewise, Grandmaster Yoda, I would love to run up. That's one of the good things about Kenobi, is I'll have a reason to run him up to Relic 7. But for right now, he'll just have to do it Relic 2. Mace, I'd like to run up, but I've got priorities. Already talked about Tano. Qui-Gon Jinn, I could run him up just to make his team a little bit better, but he's fine right there. Barriss, I would like to run up, just because she would be really annoying at high relics, but priorities. Likewise, Ayla, priorities. Plo for his ship, but priorities. Luminara holds a soft spot in my heart because she was my first really good leader in Arena way back when I was like level 70 or whatever. At low-level Arena, in a pre-Revan, pre-CLS, pre-Thrawn era, this leadership, pre-Zeta, this leadership was really good. You know, you got the evasion, you got the healing. She's a healer, but Force Blast hit pretty hard. She was a really good character who's just been left behind from power creep. So she's got a soft spot in my heart. That's why she's Relic 12. Cup, my namesake. I'd love to run him up just as a lark, but yeah, that's not happening. The only reason he's got that piece is I had one lying around at some point. And what is it? Oh, yeah. I don't know if I even need... Oh, Han needs one. Alright. I also think Cup looks kind of cool with the glowing Jawa eyes. I already talked about him. Immigun D was always a character that I wanted to have because there was a time where he had a really good leadership. You know, when leaders were kind of crap, this 35% counter chance was really good. I always wanted to make a team with him, Ayla, Kit, probably Lumi and someone else, just for the constant counterattacks and called assists. Consular is garbage. His ship is okay, but he's not worth it. Katamundi, I would run him up, but that just sort of depends on how many shards I can get. Probably looking at 2 months before I even get him to 5 stars. We've been averaging about 30 shards. So, yeah. Kit, garbage, don't care. Clone Wars Chewie, garbage, don't care. Cody, talked about. East Coast, garbage, nobody cares. Jedi Knight Guardian, garbage, nobody cares. Although Jedi Knight Guardian was one of the characters I used to unlock Grandmaster Yoda, because you can grab her shards. Where do her shards come from? Yeah, Cantina. Basically, it was I could get her shards without spending energy. So when I unlocked Yoda, it was like Luminara, Consular, Guardian, Jedi Knight Anakin, and maybe Tano, I think what it was. I used some really garbage Jedi, but it was ones that I could get easily. But yes, I would like to have a Relic 7 Katamundi because he hits like a freaking truck. But that'll have to wait. I just don't have the shards. And I'm not going to give him that Cairo for now. For right now, he's just sitting under a Qui-Gon Jinn lead to pump the others up. So he can do that at gear 8 or 9 just as well as he can at high gear. He's just there to ferret out a Galactic Legend or to potentially get a cheeseball win. Bugs, I'd like to relic everybody, especially Sun Fac. I know a lot of people do the Spy for his Womp, but I want Sun Fac for ships. I'd like to run all of them up to 5, but that's not even on the back burner. That's back in the pantry. Imperial Remnant, that is still not a faction. Still waiting for it to become a faction. And I've talked about all these people. Likewise, I've talked about everybody on Imperial Troopers. Would like to pump them up. Would like to pump up Snow Trooper. I always liked him. But just not a big rush. Magma Trooper was back in the old heroic Sith days. Inquisitorius, yeah, I think they're all farmable now. I think Fifth Brother just became farmable today. They will be worked on. I don't know if... I don't know if Grand Inquisitor is going to be worth it, but they will eventually be worked on. Second Sister has a ship. Ninth Sister is apparently a pretty good tank to put under Lord Vader, and the rest of them could just be shoved in somewhere. I mean, they're not terrible characters. Jawas I might actually work on after Kyle. Jawas are a project that I have wanted to work on for quite some time. I would like to run them all up to, I don't know, Relic 2 or so. Jedi, there's probably not too much to talk about here. Most of this stuff hasn't changed much. Hermit Yoda's fine at 5. Kind of a waste. He'd be fine at 1. Luke, I might not mind running him up to 8 or 9, but he's pretty good at 7. Jedi Knight Revan I should run up, but I just have higher priorities. Obi-Wan, nah, he's fine. Kyle, he's fine. Jolie, I'd like to run up higher because he'd just become even more of a brick wall, but I have much higher priorities than him. Bastila, I would like to relic, and I might relic her after Kyle, but maybe not. Juhani is someone I plan on working on, though. With her Omicron. I just gave her the Zeta the other day. But with her Omicron, she taunts, which is fine. But random dark side unaligned force user excluding Empire, so Starkiller. And random light side, Ufu, so Visas, gain redeemed. And so that's 35 speed for both of them, which is nice. And whenever one of them uses a ability, the other one assists. So Mara Jade shoots, calls Palpatine. Palpatine calls Starkiller. Starkiller calls Visas. Visas is currently modded for damage, so that's extra damage. And that also means that if there's any debuffs, she's removing them. Also, if I use this team against another team that's got a Sith leader, for some reason, there's a chance whenever anyone attacks that Visas assists, which will call Starkiller. Also, whenever either one of them gain a buff, dispel all buffs on allies with redeem, so they'll dispel each other. That's nice. And whenever one of them is damaged, gaining turn meter. And whenever either one is debuffed, they're recovering protection. So that's a really good Zeta, or Omicron. Oh wait, that's in Territory Wars, so that basically that starts drawing up the assists that you would get in GAC. But since I've got the Mara Jade Omicron, running her up to Relic 5 or so and giving her that Omicron would make Starkiller much nastier in Territory Wars. And Guild always has me putting him on defense anyway, so there you go. So Juhani is on the list for after I'm done with Kyle. Don't care. Already talked about. Wouldn't mind running Kanan up, but not really worth it. And that's everybody else. Moving on. Mandos. So we're working on armor. I don't know what I'm going to do with her. She might stop at 12 for a while. I'm not sure. Bo, I wouldn't mind running up at least to 12. Likewise, the Mandalorian, just because it makes him a little tougher. Bando, I would like to run up to Relic 5. Ship. Maul, I wouldn't mind running him higher, but right now he can just sit at 5. That's good enough. CG did Gar and ISC dirty. They could be so much better. But as it is, they just don't have a home. Which is too bad. Night Sisters. This is something else I would like to work on once we're done with Kyle. I would like to run Talzin, Talia, Acolyte, and Spirit. I would like to run all of them up to Relic 5, and I would like to run Daka up to Relic 7. That would potentially help with the assault battle, which I still can't do Challenge Tier 1. And those extra relic levels would do a lot for Daka's health. I mean, she has got an obscene amount of health right now, 125,000 health right now, but more is better. Yeah, 10% health each time, so she's gaining 12,000 health each time someone dies and comes back. Yeah, so would like to run her up, but she's got to wait. But that's the plan after Kyle, is to get all of them, except you, to Relic 5, and then Daka to Relic 7. And then potentially Zombie, and then Ventress, and leaving the rest of them at 5. Unless there is going to be a Galactic Legend based on this faction, but I don't see it. Night Sister Initiate also was someone that I ran in my arena team for a long time under Luminara, because back then she was really good. She had the highest potential galactic power, in fact, for some reason. But I've always liked this faction. I would like to work on it more. And eventually I will. Old Republic, nobody's going anywhere except Juhani's running up. I might run Zalbar to 12. Once I have the time and ability to farm sort, I might run her up, but for the most part, nobody except Juhani and maybe Bastila are going any higher. Oh, I fought a Relic 7 Karth on one of those Galactic Grand Arena days. A Relic 7 Karth with like a Relic 5 or something Zalbaran mission. That was a really impressive expenditure of resources. The only thing I can think of is they did it for the ship, the Ebon Hawk. I don't know what his T3 was at, but that's the only thing I can think of. It's the only reason I can think of. Nobody likes Karth that much. And for what it's worth, Malik still soloed it without any trouble. If you're wondering, by the way, last week in GAC I got one win. The first 2 rounds were miserable failures. The third round, I faced off against someone with 6 Galactic Legends, who put 5 of them on defense. I got 2 attacks in, and they did nothing. 0 banners. So I won that one by default. I'm in Kyber 3 right now, which is fine. I'll go back up to Kyber 2 pretty quick. Phoenix, not doing anything with. Maybe Sabine, but nobody else. Rebels. I wouldn't mind running Luke up more, but that's not happening anytime soon. Same with Chewbacca, same with Han. I mean, could you imagine a Relic 9 Han Solo? Whew. Same with Chupio. Yeah, nothing too special on any of these. Running Biggs up more for his ship, maybe, but nothing beyond that. Fulcrum, I would love to run her up. I like that character, but she doesn't have a place. Baze, I should probably run up a little bit more because I use him as a filler in filler teams. Akbar, I'd like to give him his Omicron, but that can wait. Stormtrooper Han, I'd like to run up, but until I've got Akbar's Omicron, he's going to have to wait. Likewise, Princess Leia. None of these guys matter. I don't see Admiral Raddus making Rogue One worth it. Farm Boy, I'd love to run Farm Boy up. Because I think his Omicron might shock people. But yeah, for the most part, he's not worth it. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. Lobot's garbage. Rebel Fighter, nothing really to talk about. I'll talk about him later. Resistance. None of these are going anywhere until I work on Rey, which I'm probably not going to be doing anytime soon. I would like to get Resistance Hero Finn to 7 stars and run him up along with Poe. They're not bad characters. And OG Finn just got an Omicron. It's a territory battle Omicron, though. So I don't see it. Oh, some of that's not bad. Health and protection, 50% less damage. At the start of the encounter, revive all allies with 100% health and protection, and gain protection up. He gains determination while he's got it. Immune to critical hits, 100% counter chance. Whenever they use a special ability, dispel all buffs on target enemy, inflict expose, which will feed into his Zeta. Whenever down, he has a 20% chance to gain 100% turn meter. If enemies damaged for each exposed, deal true damage to all other enemies. And then, wow, that's a lot. I hadn't actually looked at it. That's a really good Omicron, but it's territory battles. Maybe if I had Rey and wanted to use him as an extra team, but for territory battles, Not happening. But that would probably be really good for light side Geo. I'll give it that. And we're going to be working that. Who's this guy? Okay, Rogue One. So I wouldn't mind running POW up a little bit, but he's not going anywhere. All of these guys I could run up for their ship, but I don't have any plans anytime soon. Cassian maybe, because he's a good character, but again, I just have other priorities. Admiratis is the new boy. Luckily, he doesn't currently have a ship, although I'm assuming he is going to at some point. Which... we need more fighters. We don't need more capital ships, but at least Rebels are the one faction that has spare ships. Nobody else does. Rebels have spare ships. But we need a lot more ships. Part of the problem is you've got all of these ships that had multiple pilots because they weren't planning ahead. So you've got these ships with, you know, with 3 pilots. It would have been better to have 3 ships with 1 pilot. Just the occasional 2, like Han's Millennium Falcon. So, what does this guy do? Protection up on basic. Okay. Protection up. Recover max protection. Something that wasn't supposed to happen. You're not supposed to recover protection. That was why protection was always so much more. Force Taunt. Spark of the Rebellion. Reduce the cooldown, which is gain offense and speed. Yeah, that's pretty chunky. And that looks like that isn't a Zeta. Blue Squadron air support. Dispel debuffs, special damage, 5% upload progress. Okay. Rebel Assault Leader. This has an Omicron, I believe. Yes. Grand Arena Omicron. Rogue One bonus. Dazing Empire. Critically hit. Expose while in Grand Arena. Max protection. Spark of the Rebellion. Gain a bunch of crap when it's dispelled. Okay. Transmission from Scarif. I'm guessing that's a Zeta. Defense and Tenacity. He is a support character. Okay. If she's an ally, she gains Spark. When she loses it, she regains it. When Radis is active, she can't be defeated. Leader slot, he gains Hope. 1% upload progress. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Special ability. Yeah. At 100% upload progress, he gains a bonus turn. 1 use per battle requires upload. Yep. Revive all allies, and all allies recover 100% health and protection. True damage to all enemies, healing immunity, protection disruption. Wow. Goodness. And him making Jyn Erso so she can't be defeated basically means you have to kill him and then kill Jyn before she can do her ability, which revives people. And he's support. And that's not a bad team. Certainly enough to be annoying. I don't know if Rogue One is good enough to make the investment worth it. So many scoundrels. Nothing much going on with any of these people. I wouldn't mind running Enfys up higher, but priorities. Yeah, you guys aren't going anywhere. Vandor, I would like to run up higher to run him with Dash. I wouldn't mind getting him up to 5 or so. Likewise, I wouldn't mind getting L3 to Relic 5 or so. And then at some point, I'll run up Han. There's no rush on him. Likewise, Kui and IG-11, I would like to run up, but again, priorities. Mob Enforcer's staying. Mob Enforcer's not going anywhere unless I have to. Separatists. Not much to say about any of this. When I go for Kenobi, Watt will run up to 7, but he's not going anywhere before then. No reason to run him up. And I've gone over everybody else elsewhere. Oh, Magna Guard I wouldn't mind running up, but whatever. Sith. Some of these I'll talk about. Sith Empire I'll talk about under Sith Empire. Darth Talon I really like. I think she's an underrated character. I like having her at Relic 5. I don't like her enough to run her higher, but I like her at Relic 5. Darth Maul I got use out of today. There was, in the Galactic Challenge, the whole gain stealth 10 times or 20 times or whatever it was. So I just ran a whole bunch of Sith under a Darth Maul lead and let the leadership give me the stealth. Worked great. Wouldn't mind running Traya up to make her tougher. Scion I might take to 5 and then stop. Nihilus I wouldn't mind running up to 5, but no rush. Malgus we're working on. Okay, Sith Empire. Revan, I would like to run up to 5, get him a little bit more damage. For the most part, he's okay at 2, but the little bit more. Now that everything is so inflated, it used to be that having him at 2 was sufficient, and people that ran him up to 7 were just wasting materials. But with all the inflation, getting him up to 5 wouldn't be a bad idea. Running Malik up to 7 would not be a bad idea, although most of the time he's just getting used to kill Karth. Running him up higher would be a good idea. Bastila Shan Fallen, I need to relic her and get her tougher. I might work on her after Kyle. She is back burner, but not too far back. I do need to work on her. HK, talked about, wouldn't mind, but no rush. Sith Empire Trooper, I would not mind running him up more. He is a really good tank. I stopped there when I did because I was using him with C in that really awkward C Kyle counter where I needed him to be tough enough to take a hit from Kyle, but not so tough that he took almost no damage from Kyle, because basically it was C-Links at some point, who cares? Well, it was Watt puts the tech on C, Kyle smacks Trooper, Thrawn gives the turn to Armorer, Trooper got knocked down enough that Armorer now has 3 stacks. Armorer puts the stacks on C, and now C is basically invincible. I don't use that counter anymore, so I could probably run Trooper up higher, and may very well. Sith Assassin I always kind of liked, but there's no sense in spending, so she's just going to sit there. Smuggler. Young Lando is on the list. He can hit really hard with his special, but L3 is more important to me right now. Everything else is just would be nice, except Han, who's got to go up, Veteran Smuggler. Tuskens! I would love to run Tuskens up. I would love to run these guys up to Relic 5, give him the Omicron, and have a great 3v3 defensive team. But until 3v3 rolls around, and depending on what Datacrons do to the game, that may never happen. But I may still run these guys up to 12. 12's relatively cheap. And finally, Ufus. There's only a couple that haven't been covered elsewhere. So we've got Starkiller. I do need to give him his second Omicron. I believe it's Force Repulse. Yeah, I think Force Repulse is the next one, and then this one. I don't remember which one is better. I'd have to look it up. But, I mean, much conflict is the important one. I would like to get his offense higher. My mods do not have a lot of offense secondaries, so he's about 700 damage or below where he should be, because those aren't great mods. I don't feel like remodding him again. Tano, I would love to run up higher, but again, we got Visas. Visas is great. She was one of my first relics. I think the third character I relicked. Back when you could only get 12 plus gear from Heroic Sith, and we weren't doing Heroic Sith. So it was a huge investment for me back in the day. 5,000. She unfortunately doesn't do as much as I would like, but she is a healer. But yeah, I always liked Visas. I thought she was a good character. I liked her in the game. She was one of my favorite characters in KOTOR 2. And I always liked her, so I'm glad she's got a home now, thanks to Starkiller. That's it for UFUs. So, ships. It's not much to talk about with ships. You know, I mean, my shuttle's really nice now. Yeah, there's not too much to talk about. Let's drop down here. You know, Executor's going to take forever to run up. TIE Interceptor. Yeah, I ended up 2 shards short. So, next Galactic thingy, I'll be able to get you up to 6 stars, which will help. And running the sister up will help as well. What is she, relic? What is she, gear 10? Yeah, and I don't have enough to run her to gear 11. Gear 11 is where we'll unlock the rest of this. Yeah, gear 11. Gear 11. Gear 11. Gear 11. Yeah, gear 11 is the big one, because that gets her pursuit target. But I got everything else, so maybe I should gear sister up sooner rather than later to get that good to go. And then everything else, there's nothing special to see there. Let me see what she needs. I know she needs a Cairo. Battle computer, stun gun, shock prod. She needs 2 Cairo. Yeah. I think that's going to have to wait. I hate having the ship being kind of crippled like that. But Kyle is far more important than her ship. Although I liked the character okay. I played the game a couple months before she was released. And that's it. So there we are. This is the big thing on the roster is we got these guys. We are getting close. We are almost ready to start the long, arduous process of unlocking Kylo Ren, including the awful, awful event that unlocks him. And yeah, he comes out tomorrow. And got that, so that's nice. Finalizer. Bonus for Sith. Ooh, that'll be fun. Yeah. The other nice thing about all that work that I had to do was getting this was not too difficult. It did take 3 runs. Because I did the complete the battle in first order, because now I have relic first order. Stealth, like I said, took Maul, and then light and dark I did with, I think I did with Jedi under Luke and Watt, I think is what I did. Just steamrolled it. Is my Sith team still up? Yes. Yeah, so this is what I used to get the stealth. Because Dancing Shadows is giving stealth, Count Dooku gives stealth, and then Lord Vader just obliterates everything on the planet, even when he's not the leader. So it worked really well. Oh goodness, 50 minutes. Wow. Well, rosters are really big these days. So we'll just go ahead and do this real quick. This worked really well. And then he'll re-stealth. Got the ability block. Then we get the daze. Everyone was already dazed. And then... yoink! Oh, Vader died of sadness. I guess I'll just smack you again. Oh, what is it? Is it when we score a critical hit or when they score a critical hit? Can't be critically hit while stealthed. Gain stealth whenever they evade or are critically hit. Okay. And he's giving evasion too. And doop. Also, Vader is just crushing everybody because he's, even when he's not the lead, he is still, oh, you gotta be kidding me. He is still adding those dots, so they're just getting tons of dots. And yeah, so even without Vader, it probably wouldn't be too hard. But yeah, that was how I got the stealth, was with that team. And then with First Order, I mean, if you don't have Relic First Order, you're probably not going to do it. But I think I just ran that for First Order. You know, I mean, that pretty much does it. The issue is if you don't have Relic First Order, it's going to be really rough. Trust me, I know. I haven't gotten the top crate from a First Order based one. Oh, that was a waste. I haven't gotten the top crate from a First Order based team because I didn't have good enough First Order. My First Order was kind of crap. Holy cow! Wow, this all went sideways. Holy cow, wow! So even with Relic First Order, it can go sideways really fast. I played it wrong, but wow, goodness. That's embarrassing. Well, what a note to end on, eh, folks? So anyway, there you go. You've got, that's the roster review. So at some point, Once we finish Kyle, we're going to work on side projects like Night Sisters and Jawas and Juhani and all that more fun stuff because I need a break from the Galactic Legend grind. I took a bit of one after Jedi Master Luke because I was waiting to find out what the next one was going to be because Kenobi was announced and then it was months until Vader was announced. And then I went hard on Vader, and almost immediately after Vader, I went on Starkiller, and almost immediately after Starkiller, I went to Kyle. So I haven't had a break in a while, and I need one because I'm sick of the grind. For those of you going for Starkiller, these fights are all really easy. None of these are really all that difficult. It's very easy to screw this one up, though. You know, for one, I've got their Starkiller, not mine, so it's not a Relic 7 reasonably well modded one. The way this works is... why did I only get 6? Anyway, the way this works is you need to get Unleashed to win. So you need to get that up to 100. The problem is Stormtroopers, if they don't crit you, they land that Expose, which does unwholesome damage. As you can see, it's really easy to get whittled down. You do not want to use your bubble because that does not add this. It doesn't... It deals damage to all enemies, but so does your basic. So I just alternate. I just use the basic and... yeah, 48, good lord. And this. Although, this is supposed to add... yeah, it's only giving you 5 stacks. It's supposed to give you 20. But it is really easy to die if you get bad luck with those exposes. This is not a well-designed... this is not a... it's not fun, and it's not good. It really just depends on your luck and how often you get exposed. And you're doing just junk damage. Also, your counterattacks are a little... well, that's giving you 5 as well, so there's really, it looks like, not really any point to doing anything other than a basic. They'll just keep coming back forever. Yeah, it's just a matter of if you get exposed or not. If you get too many exposes, you lose. Luckily, you aren't using tickets or anything. It also seems to depend on how many counterattacks you get. Oh, yeah, see? Look at that. Almost dead. If you get good on the counterattacks, you can leech your way up. Yeah, so I'm able to kind of leech back up. But yeah, it's pretty much entirely luck-based. There's very little skill involved. And it's just can you get lucky to not get exposed and get lucky to get your attacks in so that you're unleashed so you can pull down the Star Destroyer and win. That's it. That's basically how it went when I unlocked him, too. I lost the first time and won the second time. And by and large, every other time I play it, I lose. It's not a very good event. This is a very half-assed event. All of the other events are apparently just what it was from the Marquee event. So it was very slapdash. When you compare it to like the CLS event or the Jedi Knight Luke event, it's very weak sauce. Yeah, see, this is, 25 stacks of Force energy. Not 5. Yeah. That's how it's supposed to work. Four stacks every time he deals damage to an enemy. Increase to 5 stacks on a critical hit. So 5, 10, 15, 20. I mean, in theory, he should be getting 25 stacks of Force energy each attack. Oh well. So, there you go. That's the roster. Going to be going back to 5v5. Thank God. This 3v3 was just not worth it. So, I'm not sure what I'm going to be reviewing. So there we are. We are in Kyber 3, but we are 7 points from Kyber 2. We did not fall that far. So we'll be a little short on crystals, but not the end of the world, and we should pop up to Kyber 2 very quickly. And apparently they're changing Grand Arena, so it's going to be 3 on 1 off, so it's going to be a monthly cycle, and I'm fine with that. The game takes enough time as is. So, until maybe next week, when we've got Grand Arena, I'll see you then. So, have a good one.